Okay, it's our time again on Sports Bang, and we love it, especially the banter that comes in before we put on the microphone. Sometimes I wish, we could bring some of these things on the radio, but then again, I suppose that would destroy the magic.
I already spoke with Blessing some time ago.
That would destroy the magic.
We should just have a bit of the air banter, accumulate all of them in a podcast somewhere, and then throw it online for our listeners. Honestly.
Okay. As long as I don't feature in your podcast. Because, sometimes I wonder, these things, am I going to be cool if they get out there? I don't know. Okay, great Friday morning, the second day in the month of July, year 2021. And of course, it's beautiful in the city of Ibadan. We know that wherever you are listening from, it's a good time for you as well. It is 26 minutes before 8 o'clock, and we're set again to serve you the best and the latest in the world of sports. We call it Sports Bang, and it's live this morning from Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station, reaching out to you live from the White House building, Felele in Ibadan. Good morning to you. My name is Tunde Olawuwo. This morning, I've got my friends in the house. Ayobami Animation is right there. Faith Adedeji is there. Josh is in the studio as well, and he's probably the instigator of some of these bankers. The last 48 hours have been very exciting for Josh, understandably so, and he's
trying to rub it in already. So
he's rubbing it in already, and of course you need to. I was going to say Faith on Twitter, but we're not tweeting, so. It is what it is. I've been seeing a lot from you lately. So, Faith, 2nd of July, good morning. Welcome on Sport Bang.
Yeah, good morning, Tunde. Good morning, Ayobami. Good morning, Ibadan and beyond. Good morning, Josh, as well. It's a wonderful Wednesday, Friday morning, in the city of Ibadan. It is Sports Bank, winning Friday Sports Bank, as we always say. And, the extra spice that comes with it and all that. And then we'll talk about today being the 2nd of July. I'm not sure Ghanaians want to remember what I'm about to talk about. And even by extension, Africans, I'm not sure they will also want to remember that. Talking about what happened on the 2nd of July 2010 at the FIFA World Cup, that penalty missed by Asamoah Gyan. It happened on this day 11 years ago. It was one, maybe many people will not still forgive Luis Suarez for that important moment. You remember how he was able to palm away Dominic, Adia's header with his hand, late into extra time in that particular one, and that forced the game into penalties, and the Ghanaians eventually lost. And it would have been a memorable one because they would have made huge history. To have been a very historic moment because I would have had the first African team to get to the semi-finals of a World Cup. But then Luis Suarez denied us that opportunity. Ultimately, the Ghanaians also denied us that opportunity when he went into penalties. The same man, Dominic Adia, missed the penalty in that particular one and all that. So, but then it is what it is. It's only time to look beyond that. And hopefully, come 2022 World Cup, an African team, hopefully the Super Eagles would eventually break that jinx and get to the semi-finals of the World Cup, or even get to the finals. Who knows whether you can never rule anything out in the world of football. So it's a wonderful time to be on Sports Bank this wonderful Friday morning.
Okay. Ayobami Animation. You're the one looking different.
Yeah. Well, of course you can say that. I didn't get the memo early enough. I would have actually danced along to the tune, but regardless of that, I'm so delighted to be amongst you gentlemen this Friday morning. I was close to tapping Faith out of his dreams and waking back into reality. Like, listen, boy, Africans in 2022 World Cup, I don't really need to say too much, but I think right now we are not even close to making the semi-finals, talk less of winning it. But if we want to look at it from the larger perspective, we can all celebrate the fact that indeed Africans have won the World Cup in times past. In fact, 2018, as recent as that, we had Africans right there, part of the winning country.
Prior to the 2018 World Cup, would you have predicted that Croatia would get to the final?
Of course. Not. Course, really? No. I was going to say, of course not.
Okay.
But the reality is they are the element. They are the players. It's just about the fact that they might not be able to make it that far because they would obviously face better oppositions. But look at Africa. I'm looking at
teams like Senegal. Maybe Egypt.
Senegal,
Nigeria
Egypt,
to an extent.
Senegal, Egypt, all those countries always have this frighting when they get to this stage of the competition, when they get to the quarterfinals or round 16 stage of the competition. And that's exactly what really affects
Sometimes
the chances
a bit
of Africa.
luck as well.
Yes, of course. This is cup competition. I always say it.
Remember, we're also underrepresented at the World Cup.
Underrepresented because we have just 5 countries.
Yes, compared to maybe Europe.
Of course, that's true.
So that limits your chances.
That's why I'm saying 2022, none of the countries from Africa right now looks ready to actually take on this mantle, to take on this.
But you're never going to tell when it will happen. They'll probably not look ready.
Listen,
to you,
Tunde, I can say for a fact that when it's ever going to happen, some really, really important things would happen. And one of them is about to happen in 2026. Africa's slots would obviously be increased because when that is done,
So
that increases our chances.
Increase our slots. That's when we'll be able to do this.
Yes, that increases our chances. Now, for instance, in 2026, we'll be having, I think, about 9 countries at the World Cup, which obviously will increase our chances. Unlike before, when you obviously have maybe Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire or Ghana not participating at the World Cup,
But then when you have
that
9
further limits our
countries,
chances.
How many of them will be strong enough?
That's the point.
Because
And then
regardless of the number, you still have to maybe narrow it down to maybe 5 or 6.
And then
but the future is bright for African football.
And then the other continents will also have more countries
They will
also
have the
coming.
slots
So, you have to look at it from that angle as well. But then if you are saying player for player, I mean, the likes of Mohamed Salah, they've shown that they can compete with the very best at the highest of levels. Sadio Mane, Khalidou Koulibaly. Look at the crop of players. Wilfried Ndidi. Look at the crop of players we have in Africa. I mean, you cannot say...
You're going to stop without mentioning Senior Mankels?
Yeah, I was still coming to that, obviously.
All these names you're mentioning, they still don't frighten me as much as the Europeans would do, as much as the South Americans
Sadio Mane
would do.
doesn't frighten you?
He doesn't. He just actually ended a very, very terrible season with Liverpool. So I wouldn't even put him in that
By
category.
standard, yes,
yeah, of course, by
yeah.
standard. So
Most
and
Salah
moreover,
doesn't frighten you.
remember, cup competitions like this most times are not even being defined by the biggest of players.
Most
It's always
Salah
about the
doesn't frighten
unit,
you,
the
right?
unit the team has. Look at Croatia, you just mentioned.
Perhaps the best holding midfielder in England.
Who's that?
Doesn't frighten you.
Riyad Mahrez.
Wilfried Ndidi, really.
Riyad Mahrez doesn't frighten you.
Of course it does. Listen, but listen, Riyad Mahrez was at the World Cup in 2018. What spectacular thing did he do?
Was he at the World Cup? He wasn't.
With Algeria wasn't. They weren't
They
at
were at
the
the
World
World
Cup.
Cup in 2014. And they
2014.
nearly knocked out the Germans. You remember?
Nearly doesn't make it.
But then they did so well.
Nearly
at the World
doesn't
Cup.
make
So,
it.
I mean,
The reality is, Tunde,
a point is coming when you're just.
but you won't have all those players at the top level for all the years you're expecting them to. 2014 is how many years ago? 7 years ago.
Don't
And
worry. Argentina has been bottling it with Lionel Messi all along.
Yeah.
But they look a bit more serious.
Of course, they were in the final of the 2014 World Cup.
But they bottled it.
They looked more serious then than
But
now.
they bottled it.
They looked more serious in
Maybe
2014
they
than
could still
now.
bottle it.
So what? Listen, I just feel
that you've been bottling
listen.
it doesn't mean we're not going to do it at some point.
Interesting.
But don't worry. Let us wait until that time and see.
Surely not
if,
2022.
If Africa, I know Africa is listening.
Surely not
I know
2022.
African teams are
Tunde.
listening.
Surely not 2022.
By your take.
Yeah.
I remember I had colleagues back then, 2013 African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
Some of them still very much around. They said no chance Nigeria would not make it past the quarterfinals because they had issues with some of the players that late coach Stephen Keshi was taking to the AFCON.
So
then went all the way.
whoever called it for Super Eagles back in 2013 pretty much had crystal balls. It takes some level of boldness for you to have strongly backed that Super Eagles team, especially from what we saw
That
from them in the
boldness
group
you're
stage.
not showing now about African teams' potentials.
Listen,
in the next World Cup.
it is what it is. It's just the reality that
it
is
takes
facing
some
us right
level
now.
of boldness to
Really?
also completely rule us out like you're doing.
Of 2022 World Cup.
Yeah.
Of course, I can do that
Remember,
anytime.
we're
any
not
day.
saying we're winning the 2022 World Cup.
I thought that's what he said.
No, I said get to the semi-final.
Yes, it didn't
Oh,
say
really?
win.
Even the semis, I can't bank on Africa.
Remember, I started from Ghana not getting to the semis.
Of course.
So we need to get to the semi-finals first.
Let's see what happens.
And then who is to say, what's it?
Yeah.
Is it not 11 against 11? Why are you making it look like...
Of course, it's always 11 against 11. Haiti against England is 11 against 11. Isn't
Don't
it?
even bring England into this equation.
No, I'm just saying.
They may even lose against Ukraine.
Oh,
You
really?
never can tell.
Wow.
They may. I'm not making a prediction. It's football.
I like the fact that you have to stress that.
It's football.
Yeah.
So tennis gets our attention right now, and we're talking the Wimbledon. That's the third Grand Slam of the year. It's important to know that Roger Federer cruised past Richard Gasket 7-6, 6-1, 6-4 to set up a third round clash with Britain's Cameron Norrie in the third round after the 25-year-old sealed a 6-3, 6-1, 6-2 win over Australia's Alex Bolt earlier in the day. Elsewhere, world number 2 Daniel Medvedev was in imperious form as he dispatched exciting Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz in a straight set to set up a clash against former finalist Marin Cilic in round 3. Fourth seed Alexander Zverev also continued his fine start to this year's championship with an emphatic straight set victory over Tennis Sandgren. Meanwhile, seventh seed Matteo Berrettini maintained his perfect record on grass in 2021 with a hard-fought 6-3, 6-4, 7-6 win over Botic van de Zandschulp on Thursday afternoon. We're still telling you about those who are in this competition for now. World number 1 in the female category, Ashley Barty ground out a second round win over Anna Blinkova as the Wimbledon draw opened up further for her with the exit of third seed Elena Svitolina. Barty's serve was Erostin, but she dug deep to secure a 6-4, 6-3 win. American 20th seed Coco Gauff followed Barty to the third round after defeating Russia's Elena Vesnina 6-4, 6-3 on center court. But Ukraine's Svitolina is out, beaten 6-3, 6-4 by Magda Linette. There are now just 3 top 10 players remaining in the draw. Barty, second seed Ariana Sabalenka, and 2020 French Open champion Iga Swiatek. And now on to athletics. Kasia Semenya failed in her latest attempt to achieve the Olympic qualifying time for the 5,000 meters. The South African was fourth in running, 15.50 in Belgium, as she failed to make the 15.10 qualifying mark. Semenya would not have been allowed to compete in Tokyo even if she had made the time, as the deadline was 29 June. After the race, she vowed to keep fighting to be allowed to compete over 800 meters without having to take testosterone-reducing drugs. Well, we support her in this fight. Hopefully, she will find victory at some point, but age is no longer on our side. I hope when, because not a matter of if, as far as I'm concerned, when she eventually wins, it wouldn't become zero victory. Because if she's too old to compete, then she only would have won for maybe
exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, any day, any time, I just really do think that it's unfair.
And that is what advocacy is all about. It might not necessarily be because of yourself. You might not benefit directly from that particular advocacy or that particular thing you're fighting for. But then the most important thing is that you lay down a mark and you go down
because
into this tribute.
This is not just about her being a black woman.
Yeah.
You know, you're almost putting her in the same category as those who are doping. Whereas, I mean, she's not.
It's a natural blessing.
It's natural.
Yeah.
I really don't understand what the logic is about. If you find a man who has got maybe certain things in his body that makes him naturally stronger than other men, what are you going to do?
I mean, this thing is very unfair. You look at a particular Michael Phelps.
Maybe Usain Bolt even add something in a system that makes him naturally faster.
Because Usain Bolt defies logic.
Michael Phelps has a natural advantage over others. He has longer limbs than someone of his height, and maybe that is something that has been giving him that advantage. Why didn't you just say, okay, Michael Phelps?
Even Usain Bolt himself, for someone of that height, it's always very rare to have that kind of person still being able to cover as much ground as he does within the sprint race. So it's, I mean, you look at some of the biggest sprinters we've had in times past, they're always very short, because when you have that way, you have a better center of gravity, so you can actually quickly control your speed and all that. But Usain Bolt is taller and he has long legs, so he defies logic. And I think with that, he has been able to actually use that to his advantage. But why Kasia Semenya? Exactly. So why Kasia Semenya has been, counted for this?
Let's hope that she continues with this fight, and sometimes, not so far, where she gets some kind of victory. Quickly from Formula One, Red Bull's Max Verstappen is favourite to beat Lewis Hamilton and win the Formula One title on current form. Two-time champion Fernando Alonso says, beg your pardon. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 18 points ahead of this weekend's Austrian Grand Prix after 4 straight wins by Red Bull. 23-year-old Dutchman is aiming to secure his first drivers' championship. And in the world of basketball, let's talk NBA. Even without two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks figured out a way to end their recent habit of slow starts Brook Lopez scored a playoff career high 3 points to lead a balanced attack, and the Bucks never trailed in a 123 to 112 victory over the Hawks on Thursday night that gave them a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now they're just one win away from finishing off the Atlanta Hawks and earning their first NBA Finals berth in nearly half a century. Well, quickly from football, Akwa United opened up a 4-point lead at the top of the MPFL table in Nigeria here in their bid for a first league title with a fourth straight win at home, but were made to work hard against title rivals Nassau United on Thursday. Akwa United's goals came before halftime as Samuel Amadi tapped home to end Nassau United's resistance in the 30th minute before Marshall Johnson swept home in first half added time. However, Kennedy Boy's side had to withstand another finish after Adamu Hassan scored from the spot 14 minutes from time. Earlier, fellow Oyo side Dakar FC moved into the top half of the table with a 2-0 victory against Akwa United, also at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. Meanwhile, the delegation of Nigeria's senior men national team Super Eagles has arrived in Los Angeles, United States of America for this Saturday's international friendly match taking place at the imposing Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, simply known as LA Coliseum. Well, there's been a lot of backstories around this one between the sports minister, the NFF, and even the coach at Genotro. But because of our time, we will not be able to delve into all of that this morning. Kuwait Premier League side Al Kuwait on Thursday announced the signing of former Super Eagles midfielder John Mikel Obi on a 1-year contract. So, Obi, our man, is taking his business to Kuwait. You know what happens when you're nearing the end of your playing career.
That's really a setback right there for NPFL. That's a simple way a logical way to look at it. That
you were expecting Mikel to come on?
No. I'm simply saying the Kuwaiti league is obviously better organized than the NPFL. That's just a simple logic.
It's not only about
because exactly in terms of money. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because that's the only thing that could have actually attracted Mikel Obi to go and play in a Far Eastern country.
I did not even think for a second that Mikel Obi will come play in the NPFL.
If we have a better structure, if we have more money right in the NPFL, why not?
Mikel doesn't even cut across as someone that...
Who at some point was picking matches for the Super Eagles.
Listen, okay, Tunde, let me ask this. Why would he leave Stoke City? Remember, he's got 1-year contracts left. In fact, his contract got extended barely just about 4 or 5 weeks ago by another year. So why would he leave second tier in England?
Yes.
Remember that it's a family rather.
For Kuwait?
Exactly.
More money.
That's the point.
Oscar left Chelsea.
If Nigeria is China, if the Nigeria Professional Football League is better organized with more money in it.
Organization. This is about money.
Sorry.
For instance,
I'm not getting it straight.
Okay, the Kuwaiti League.
Yeah.
Is it better organized than the Championship in England?
Of course not.
So it's about the money.
It is, but I'm saying dividends of better organization in Nigeria would obviously lead to more money.
This is about money.
If we have our league in well-placed organization, obviously
even if
would have more brands.
It's so disorganized. As long as there's more money.
Come on.
We are talking about a 34-year-old. At this point in time, maybe Mikel is thinking of going into spare parts.
Are you saying
he's a co-owner of a betting company as I speak?
Yeah. Oh, really?
So at this point in time, it's all about the money.
It's about the trust fund for the family.
Jadon Sancho transfer saga is over, with Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United announcing that an agreement has finally been reached between the two clubs.
Here we go.
It looks like you'll be wearing the number 7.
Here we go. No? Are you expecting Cavani to leave that for him?
Cavani is an old man.
They agreed. I'm not sure he will wear the number 7 this season. They agreed last season that he will wear the number 7, but then the deal did not go through. So he might not wear the number 7 this season.
But he's supposed to be manning the right wing side.
Are you even sure he's going to make the first 11?
73 million pounds?
Who cares?
Let's take a break for the BBC Premier League updates. By the way, Lionel Messi is a free agent.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal,
Shooting Stars.
please.
Yes.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford says Rafa Benitez has already been in touch and has wished him well for the rest of Euro 2020. Benitez signed a 3-year contract to become Everton's new manager on Wednesday. Pickford is away with England preparing for Saturday's Euro 2020 quarter-final against Ukraine in Rome.
You've seen his his career, the amount of trophies he's won, his desire to win matches every time. And I had a phone call. He rang me last night, so it was nice to get to speak to him. And he said, "Enjoy the tournament, do well for England, and see you when I get back."
Meanwhile, Manchester City forward Raheem Sterling has been praised for his incredible resilience and hunger by England manager Gareth Southgate. Sterling has scored 3 goals at Euro 2020, which is part of a run of 15 goals in his past 20 England matches. Leicester City's Yuri Tielemans says he's learning a lot from working with former Aston Villa midfielder Sean Maloney at international level. Maloney is part of the Belgium coaching staff helping Tielemans prepare for their Euro 2020 quarter-final against Italy on Friday.
He's been a really good player, and he knows how to deal with certain situations, and he knows how to stay calm in certain situations. And for me, being a midfielder just like him helps me a lot in my positioning onto the pitch. So yeah, he helps a lot in the team.
And Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is targeting a central defender as the next part of his squad strengthening ahead of the new season. United have already agreed a fee of around $100 million with Borussia Dortmund for England winger Jadon Sancho. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, great. 2, I'll be back. 0809-155-1055. Who do we have here? I'm sure somebody's ready for our 5,000 naira game. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, this is
Ayode Latif, good morning.
Thanks for the last word. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's have your number.
Number 2.
Number 2. How many? There's a sound, background noise. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay, so how many days did Frank de Boer spend as the manager of Inter Milan?
10 days.
Sorry?
71.
I didn't get that. You need to...
71 days. 71.
71 days. That's your answer.
Yes.
He actually spent 85 days.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Hello, good morning.
your name, where are you calling from? Let's just have your number.
Taiwo from Oyo.
Taiwo what from Oyo?
Taiwo Abiodun.
Okay, so your number?
Number 3.
Number 3. Who is 3S's next opponent in the ATO Cup, and where will the game be played?
Gombe United.
Okay, to be played where? They've gotten 50%, so just finish off. You are like a guy who has scored 1-0, but then you are playing a team that could come back. Where?
He just struck the bar.
Okay, we just have to let you go. It's going to be in Lokoja. Just this last one. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to me.
Good morning. Your name, where are you calling from?
This is Emmanuel from Iwo.
Okay, Mama, your number?
Give me number 7.
We don't have up to 7. We actually have 1 to 4.
Give me number 1.
Number 1. Okay, mention the drivers that finished 4th and 5th at the Styrian GP last weekend. It looks like Ewa has not used strong thing here. The drivers that finished 4th and 5th at the Styrian GP last weekend.
I have no idea.
Oh,
Sergio Perez finished 4th, Lando Norris finished 5th. AY, I'm sure for the next 5 weeks, nobody will be picking number 1. We have to go. Well, CR7 has topped Instagram's rich list as a celebrity thought to be able to charge more than anyone else for a sponsored post. Of course, you understand, this is the one with the highest number just after Instagram itself.
yeah. Wow. you have to sneak that in.
A quick one from the quarterfinals of the Euros. Switzerland versus Spain, Belgium versus Italy. I know somebody has already predicted a win for Italy.
Yeah.
That's Ferran Adegwega, just so you know.
No, I did. I predicted the win for it.
You've joined in?
No, I did. Ferran was dodging.
And I categorically stated as well that Belgium will win this one.
I said it too, that the Red Devils, Belgium will win.
Oh, okay, good.
And Switzerland versus Spain.
Wow, difficult one for Switzerland. They will be missing Granit Xhaka in that particular game.
Your inspirational captain.
Yeah, so maybe Spain will just.
Sorry, I didn't hear that today.
You're going to say something?
No, you said something about Xhaka now.
The guy that was discarded by Arsenal. You know, it just shows that sometimes, you know...
It's still an Arsenal player, isn't it?
But then...
You guys are messing him up.
He's leaving. He's already talking about Italy.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, muchas
It's been a
gracias.
pleasure.
Thank you, Faith.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks to Josh. Very excited, Josh. Sergio Ramos looks to be on his way to PSG.
Yeah, PSG on the rampage.
On the rampage?
Yeah.
On the rampage. They are struggling to get...
No, I'm talking about their transfer
They are
dealings
struggling to get an extension
for...
for Kylian Mbappe.
That's why they are doing all this. They are about to make 4 signings, 3 of them on free transfers. Gigi Wijnaldum has joined. Sergio Ramos will join on free transfer. Donnarumma, the AC Milan goalkeeper as well.
Here.
Of course, you look at all these players joining. I mean, it doesn't get better than this.
Okay, we have to leave on that note. And tomorrow at 12:30, World Sport will be right here. Do have a wonderful Friday and bye-bye.
We're kicking some folks out of the market this season. I tell you, okay, everyone else in this bed